Hello everyone and blessed be. I am going to do another very quick dollar store haul. I went and picked up these things and then I realized that I see them as very witchy. Other people may not know how many mundane or muggle type things you can really use for witchcraft. But I thought I would go ahead and show you again really quick. I am going to show two things that I got before just so it's kind of all in one spot. But I did get this and I love that. And I'm going to talk about this in another video I'm going to do shortly. And then of course my bubble glass that is probably a candle holder. But I think you can see the sheen to it better in this video. Absolutely love it. It just moved me. Something like that speaks to you, you just gotta get it. So another thing I got from there is witch hazel. I don't know how cost effective it is because I know you can go to a lot of drugstores and get a much bigger bottle of it. So this is 6 ounces, but I do use this when I make some mixes, and I actually use this for the bug spray that I make and for sleeping spray that I make for my son. So I picked up some of that. And then, you know, dollar stores, if you don't have a dollar store around you, I do apologize. But if you do, you know that some things are staples that they're pretty much always going to have, and some things it's hit or miss, so you just kind of go in there whenever and see what they got. But this time they had this huge 16 ounce, so 1 pound of coarse sea salt. And so I grabbed 2 of those. Again, check and see if they're cost effective. I go to Cost Plus and get huge containers of salt because I work with salts a lot. Whether I'm making them for somebody else or for me, or if I'm shipping things out, I will make protection salt and put it in with what I'm mailing out. So I grabbed 2 of those. And then this is something I didn't get this time around. And if you find it in your dollar store, snatch it up. It's over by the herbs section, but I have not seen them recently, but I did pull them out. These are cinnamon sticks. And it's 3 ounces of cinnamon sticks, which is a lot. I've used some of these. These things are amazing. And not so much maybe for cooking, but for witchy stuff, what I'll often do is I'll make a blend. It usually it's usually an oil blend, and then anoint this, and then I will string it with a certain color cord and use it to hang above doors or windows, things like that as needed. So if you see those, snatch them. I do have the nicer cinnamon that I use for other things, but these can also be breaking up and put in witch balls and other salt mixes, things like that. They are hard as rocks, but they're a great find if you can find them. And now, since Father's Day stuff is out there, they even have a black shower scrunchie. Yeah, I need to go back and get that. But in amongst them was this. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. And, you know, I'm sure the quality is what it is. It's from that company, Tool Bench. But to keep in your purse or your travel altar or your backpack, I'm not sure if you can carry them around in your purse anymore, but even for girls, guys, men, women, whatever, I think that was a great find. Again, I'm not Wiccan, so I don't use a athame or I think it's a bow something. But this could be used for carvings. It could be used for cutting herbs. It could be used for directional. My thing is that don't think you can't do something because you don't have a specific item that says it's to be used a certain way. I think there is a lot of power and a lot of magic in using what you have around you. I think that's amazing. And just the feeling you get from creating or using something in a different way to meet a certain need. And then I got this. It's a fan. It's a dollar store fan. It is plastic, and I did have to pull some of these apart because they were kind of stuck together, but they came apart very nicely. And I got that one. In the past, I have also got this one, which they have there too. But these are not only, they're great for personal use. I actually used this one at my son's high school graduation because it was so hot in there, and this thing was amazing. So they're pretty good quality for $1, but also you can use them for smoke cleansing. Some call it smudging, for air magic, for anything like that. And there's nothing like going outside on a very windy day and just standing out there and letting that wind blow over you. But if you are very drawn to air, or you're in a situation where you just feel like you wish you could go outside and it's not windy out there, you could actually put yourself in the mindset and use one of these, and kind of like with some things where you smoke cleanse yourself. And when you do that, you move a type of smudge. Sorry. I know that that is not the term for it. Smudging is an actual ritual. It is smoke cleansing, but I also know that it's what a lot of people know it as. So I'm going to say both. Where you can take sage bundle or any kind of bundle or a Palo Santo, and you cleanse your own self, whether your path is that you're cleaning your energy or your aura or whatever it is. But for the windy day, make yourself a windy day. You can use this in the same way, and I don't want to make this really blurry, but you can just fan this really fast over yourself and around yourself, just like you would with a smoke cleansing with a bundle, to get that feel of the wind and air. It sounds kind of silly, but I love that feeling, and I have actually done that. Also, too, if you're not into feathers, and some people do not like using feathers when they're smoke cleansing, you can use something like this. You can open it part way, all the way, whatever. You can also use your hand. There's many other things you can use. But if you don't have a dollar store, your dollar store doesn't have this, I want you to really think outside the box. That's what I, said. And I don't know how many of you remember making these as a kid. I'm old, so I remember making these as a kid. It's literally just a piece of paper, and you fold and fold and fold and fold until you have this. And then you can open it like this and use it as a fan. You can put it in half and glue or tape those ends together. You could put it on a stick. You can create this with magic paper. Magic paper, I do that often, and it can just be a piece of printer paper or even regular line paper if that's all you have. Don't limit yourself. Really, really, it's all about the intent. You could make sigils on here. If you have magic symbols that you use, you could put it on here. You can write intent. You can decorate it. You can do whatever. And a simple piece of paper becomes a magical item. And as long as your intent is there and your focus is there, and you can consecrate this just like you would a big fancy tool, You can consecrate these to be used for magic works. All of it. I have a problem with seeing people new to the path who watch other, I don't, who get from outside sources that in order to do a smoke cleansing or something like this, you have to have the abalone shell, you have to have a great big thick bundle of white sage, and you have to have this big feather. And that's not true. I always go back to our ancestors and think about where you live or where your ancestors lived. If they lived in a place that was landlocked, I highly doubt they're going to have abalone shells laying around. If they were in a place where there wasn't any sage, that's probably not what they used for some type of smoke cleansing. What do you have around you? I have pine and cedar, and so I use that a lot. I do love my Palo Santo. I do. I really do. So, but don't think that you have to have a certain kind of item. Again, like I said, if you want to make amethyst oil and you don't have amethyst, you can't make amethyst oil. That's just the story I'm always going to use, or the example I'm always going to use for that. But you can look at the intent behind what you're trying to create, and you can use what's around you to do just that. So, that's my ramble. I am always, that's a very big passion of mine is to break through that commercialism, and not even that, but if you're following a certain path, and that certain path says to make this object or this ritual item or this mix, you need to follow these steps, and that is your tradition or your path, then you follow that. But if any part of that feels wrong to you, I suggest you stop, full stop, and take a look at that. So anyhow, yeah, there I go again, right? Rambling away. Anyhow, quick little video, just some more tips on using what you have, or when you see something, look at it a totally different way. See what it says to you, see how it speaks to you, and you'll be pretty amazed. You got everything you need, always. Um, and so I'm going to stop right now because I'm rambling again. Sorry, guys. Blessed be.